Welcome back, honorable knights and oath breakers. We are back. Episode 5 of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is out, and we are going to talk about all the action, all the drama, and what it all means in the world of Westeros. Big picture stuff over here. So, if you don't like spoilers and you didn't read the books, we might spoil something for you. And I'm super sorry. Look at my face right now. I am, but I am going to do it anyway. So on with the show. I know I'm late, but I started a new job. So this week threw my usual schedule off, but I'd never stay away. Like and subscribe for more videos like this. And we talk about Star Wars, Marvel, and Game of Thrones here. But I reserve the right to talk about whatever I want to. We'll talk about it. This show is awesome. It fits in the universe perfectly. When George was writing all these books, all of his thoughts weren't fully flushed out. He hadn't fully thought of the Blackfire Rebellion when Game of Thrones, book one came out, or a few years later in the 90s when The Hedge Knight, the first book in this series, was released. But since everything is out, the writers are taking the opportunity to give us all the crossover that makes sense to the story. There has been speculation that they may make a Blackfire Rebellion show, and I actually think we are getting it in the form of this series. We've talked about it already, and in episode 5, we see a battle that happened close to King's Landing. Not the famous red grass field that was closer to the Reach, but in the following season, we should get more talk and probably flashbacks of the first Blackfire Rebellion. And in the third season, we see the second rebellion play out. Ira Parker, the showrunner, has been given extra stories related to Duncan Egg's future that George has yet to finish writing. So I think we should see the third and fourth rebellion for sure, and possibly the fifth through the lens of Duncan Egg in this series. The fifth episode is called In the Name of the Mother, which refers to Dunk wanting to wait at King's Landing for his mother to come back, or maybe the mother's mercy that he shows Arion at the end of the episode. We get the whole battle in this episode. The cliffhanger moments in the short story were all pretty obvious. So ending, yeah, with anything other than Baelor falling would have seemed off. And this sets us up for a smooth wrap up and set up for the next season. Most of the time in the franchise, they've decided to give us the big battle episode in the second to last of the season. This show was no different. When we start the charge, just like in the book, Thunder doesn't move with everyone else at first, and Dunk feels stuck like he's forgotten what to do. In the show, we see Egg screaming like he did at Thunder when they were training early in the season. This is what gets Thunder moving in the show, and I like the adjustment. Before we get into the rest of the fight, let's talk about the last time there was a trial of seven. In the lore of George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood, Maegor the First Targaryen, better known as Maegor the Cruel, found himself in a trial by seven to settle a fundamental challenge to his right to rule. The trial took place in 42 AC after conquest under the following circumstances. When King Enos I died, Maegor immediately flew from Essos to Dragonstone and claimed the Iron Throne, despite Enos having several living children who were technically ahead of Maegor in the line of succession. And this usurpation was met with immediate resistance from the faith militant, who already viewed the Targaryens as abominations due to their incestuous marriages. Upon Maegor's arrival at King's Landing, he was met by the warrior sons, the Knightly Order of the Faith. Their leader, Sir Daemon Morrigan, challenged Maegor's authority. Rather than starting a full-scale battle immediately, Maegor agreed to a trial by seven, an ancient Andal tradition where seven champions fight seven others to let the gods determine who is just. Maegor fought for himself alongside six other champions against Sir Daemon and six warriors' sons. It was a brutal, bloody affair. All 13 other combatants were killed. Maegor was the sole survivor, though he took a massive blow to the head at the very end and collapsed into a coma for 28 days. Because he survived, the trial proved his right to rule in the eyes of the gods, though his reign only became more violent from that point on. Interestingly, Maegor woke from his coma just in time to witness the trial of the Seven, a different event where he burned the Sept of Remembrance with Balerion the Black Dread. Trial by Seven begins with a thunderous cavalry charge that immediately claims its first victims. Sir Humphrey Beesbury is the first of the accused seven to fall, unhorsed with such violence by the King's Guard that he never rises again. Beside him, Sir Humphrey Harding manages to survive the initial impact, but his horse is killed and collapses on top of him, leaving him pinned and mortally wounded. While he continues to fight through the pain, his fate is sealed during these opening moments. Meanwhile, the chaos of the melee highlights the Fossoway feud, where the traitorous Sir Stefan Fossoway fights for the crown, while his cousin, the newly knighted Sir Ray Moon, proves his worth by surviving the onslaught and cementing the honor of the Green Apple line. As the battle shifts into a brutal ground war, Sir Lionel Baratheon, the Laughing Storm, becomes the anchor for Dunk's team. His booming laughter as he breaks lances and trades blows provides the morale needed to keep the Hedge Knights from breaking. On the opposing side, Prince Darren the Drunkard makes a quick exit from the fray. He is unhorsed early and simply remains in the mud, preferring to play dead rather than participate in the slaughter. This leaves the heavy lifting to the King's Guard and the remaining Targaryen princes, leading to the pivotal showdown between Dunk and Prince Aerion. The trial reaches its climax when Dunk uses his size and flea bottom brawling style to tackle Aerion Brightflame into the dirt. After a desperate struggle in the mud, Dunk pummels the prince into submission, forcing Aerion to recant his accusations to save his own life. This technical surrender ends the combat, but the true tragedy is revealed only after the fighting stops. Prince Maekar survives the encounter physically, but he is haunted by the realization that his mace delivered the blow to Baelor Breakspear's head. Prince Baelor, the hero of the day, and the man who secured Dunk's victory, survives the melee only to collapse moments later. As his helmet is removed, it is revealed that his skull was crushed and he dies in Dunk's arms, the dead dragon of the prophecy. In the aftermath, the accused seven are left as a shattered brotherhood. Only four of Dunk's champions remain alive. Dunk himself, Lionel Baratheon, Raymond Fossaway, and the gritty Robin Risling, who survives despite losing a hand in the struggle. The trial is a legal victory for Duncan the Tall, but it comes at a staggering cost to the Seven Kingdoms. The realm loses its most capable heir in Baelor, and Maekar is left to carry a burden of guilt that will follow him all the way to the Iron Throne. We see the mace hit Baelor here, and then Maekar is screaming, my boy, as he tries to get to Arion. As soon as the battle was done, Dunk was carried off the tourney field. In the book, he thinks to himself, I didn't know if I walked from the field under my own power or required help. He did indeed need help. And Baylor's slurred speech and motor skills were played perfectly by the actor. Even knowing it was coming, it was such a gripping scene to watch. In the flashbacks, we see young Dunk with Rafe, who was inferred to be a boy in the books, but was never really stated. They were always described to be doing boy type things like catching rats for the bowls of brown, climbing up to grab a severed head from the wall, and then chasing girls around with it, stuff like that. So seeing that it was a girl in the trailer and seeing that they cast someone to resemble Tansel Too Tall made me think they had some type of early relationship. But Even though they said they loved each other, it still felt platonic to me, not even second base for Dunk. After her untimely death, what's not in the book is that Dunk follows his new savior, Arlen, from King's Landing to wherever they end up, right as Dunk collapses from a whole list of problems that started with that hole in the leg. I feel like we will get a final flashback to link up the past to the present. Not completely, just probably proving to us that he was never knighted, just that he was taught chivalry, sword and lance, just like he said. He's not really a liar.
He's just big enough to be a knight and should have already been a knight. And he was just looking for one person to say, hey, I remember Sir Arlen. And yeah, if you were his squire, I'll vouch for you. You must have been knighted. But he was accused of a crime and sentenced to a fight where if he won, he'd be a knight anyway. And if he lost, no one would remember in a week.
It is literally a story of having nothing to lose and doing the right thing in the face of evil, incarnate in Arion Brightflame. Thanks for waiting, although I'm sure you already watched Seven, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, episode 5 videos since Sunday. But thanks for stopping here too. Maybe the next one will be out earlier. But that'll be a series wrap up and looking ahead to The Sworn Sword, which is our next novella and second season. Please come back. I'll be here with dogs